send Leo the images and just hope for the best.
Big time hero coming through.
Yep.
Everyone thinks because you're a zombie, you don't know good coffee. Well, they're wrong. There's only one brew that gets my seal of approval. Deadly Grounds coffee is my guilty pleasure. The aroma is so intoxicating. It brings all of my neighbors out of the woodwork. Deadly Grounds coffee. Coffee to die for and zombie approved. It's good to get a little deadly. Use the front door! Oh, they're so disgusting.
Hey, happy Tuesday, everybody. You're watching the Splash Pages. My name's Leo. I'm the monkey behind the keyboard here. And happy Superman Day, everybody. This is going to be a fun show. And without further ado, Velvet Joker.
What up, fellas? It's Tuesday night. And if you see my face, you know it's time for Splash Pages. And we do have a great show tonight. Not only is it Happy Superman Day, it is actually the 85th anniversary of the creation of Superman by the great Siegel and Schuster. And we have some great comparisons today, which are not going to be in the DC universe. They're going to be in the Marvel universe. And we're going to be talking about Spider-Man. We're going to be comparing two different series of reboots of the whole Spider-Man lore. So with that, I passed it to my left. And what do you got to say, my man? Jar Jar.
I'm so excited.
And it just
It's Tuesday night, and I'm ready for Splash Pages. Okay.
Nice.
But no, I'm definitely excited. Like, it's another week. We're here for our weekly therapy session, and I'm going to pass it over to Drew, the man, the myth, Mollo. Or not. Oh, there he is.
You're all fucked.
Holy crap, is that a big enough cup?
Yes, this is my chalice of water.
Whoa.
God damn it. Hi, everyone.
Some strong water.
When I'm not dying on Splash Pages, we have a great show. And it's going to be wonderful. Will I pass out? Who knows? Let's do it.
I did forget to do one thing. For one of our followers, I should have did this on the opening, but hold on. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls.
All right.
It's time for the Brandon verse. Whoop, whoop.
Oh, wait, hold on.
Oh, look at
You got a
Leo's
cup?
got his Brandon verse cup.
I actually got my t-shirt today too, but unfortunately it is not close by. It looks like Drew has gone to find his there.
I didn't say that. I forgot. Like, there was a theme. Like, God, see? Awesome.
Whatever.
All right, now I'm feeling the peer pressure. I'm going to get it.
Yeah.
We all have to wear it in honor of the Brandon verse. Thank
Come
you,
on.
Carrie. We really appreciate it.
I just can imagine her in her little alcove just good. Let the fashion flow.
As long
You're all in the Brandon verse. Hashtag Brandon verse.
Thank you so much, Carrie.
Love you, buddy.
Carrie's here.
yes.
Well, she had. We can't talk about her, and then she can't see her handiwork, and she can't just be like, "Oh, like again." I told you, she's just sitting there, Emperor Palpatine style, like, excellent. Let the powers flow through you.
I actually saw Brandon this afternoon.
Oh gosh.
You actually it must have been a
That's
little like Dorkening powwow for you, Rich.
Briefly, sort of, yes.
Mm-hmm.
So tell us all about it, and welcome, Carrie. Thanks for joining.
Oh, yes.
Hi, Carrie. We
Hi.
all get to thank you for your t-shirts in person. You get to see them all live in the
You're trying to
Brandon
make-
verse.
You're trying to make
Love
Carrie
it.
feel more at home there, Drew, with your
Yeah.
picture.
Exactly. I was just doing the Carrie like, "Hi, everybody, welcome to the show. I'm Carrie. We have a
Oh
great
my
show.
God.
We got suspense, we got mystery, and I haven't until this cigarette's done to give a shit."
Her co-host Raz is like the chain smoking champ. He was smoking so much I had to actually light up a joint. I felt left out.
Leo, just to let you know, me and Jeremy were on Carrie's show briefly. Okay, I say briefly, but
Briefly.
so I think we broke the record for us. We were on the show, or at least I was on the show for 4 hours.
Wow.
4 hours and
That is a long
25
show.
minutes.
4 hours and 25 minutes, where I not only
Oh,
stayed awake and kept my composure and even gained some new friends. So it was wonderful. Yes, Carrie had probably the greatest unboxing I've ever seen. This man had given her like a nerdy puzzle box, but instead of
Just like
bites, it was full of comics. And the guy had like everything. And then he gave her a list of all the stuff he gave her, and he's given her like first appearances and all these things, and it is astounding. And she just paid $150 and she got like a treasure chest. And
Yeah, I
Yeah.
was pretty impressed with the amount of artwork and work that the guy put into making this box for her.
yeah, but 4 hours and 25 minutes of just constant talking, where I think I almost had to out Raz, and he was like, "Well played, well played." And it was strange because I didn't have, Velvet, just the good evening, his wiry Vincent Price, or just Leo, like, all right, guys, go work. Just the Leo Pond of it all. It was just,
So
yeah.
now that me and Drew have bragged about our adventures, where did you go, Rich?
Yes.
Well, thanks to the powering of the Dorkening Podcast Network, I got to see a press screener today in downtown Boston. I went to see Evil Dead Rise, which is the latest in the franchise of Evil Dead. Now, me, myself, I did see the campy Bruce Campbell ones back in the day, so I didn't know what I was getting into from this, because from what I understand, they already rebooted this in the last movie to be more of a, I think, serious horror type movie.
Yeah.
I was a little nervous. Was I going to know what's going on? But it was an opportunity, and I jumped on it. And I'm really glad that I did. Number one, if you are not an Evil Dead fan, this could have been a standalone horror movie. You did not need to know anything, even about the Bruce Campbell stuff. So,
Okay.
Plus number one. Plus number two, it was great. It was great as far as horror movies go. The Evil Dead stuff was more subtle. There was definitely the famous book, although they didn't name the book. So it could have been a relative of the book, possibly. And there were a few things that definitely gave you that sort of Evil Dead Bruce Campbell feel, but still within a serious movie situation. And what I also didn't realize until seeing the credits at the end,
Right.
executive produced by both Bruce Campbell and Sam Raimi. So that told me why it was so good. So that is my non-spoiler review.
I do have one question. It might be a bit of a spoiler. For the, as we call it, Necronomicon, were there any Dancing Deadite numbers to enjoy? And did anybody at any choice say anything that was relevant to a 70s era, aka did anyone say groovy?
Groovy,
I'm
baby.
afraid I'm going to have to disappoint you on both occasions, Drew.
Oh,
I shall sip this water and not die.
the
again.
death of the Evil Dead right there. Dun, dun, dun.
Well, Rich, you have to remember, at least you're not dead by dawn, so you're good. But it's still time,
Yeah, you might have heard that, though.
of course. But that's great. That's phenomenal. I mean, the trailers for it looked amazing.
Hey, Joe.
Hey, Joe, and I'm always down for a solid, good horror movie. Evil Dead very rarely disappoints, and let's do it. Let's give more. Let's give the Deadites another shot. That's
Absolutely. I was happy to go, and I actually take a little bit of the pressure off Leo. I put my personal email in with the contact there at the advertising firm. So hopefully when all the new movies come out, we'll be able to, for those who want to travel into Boston, go see what we got to see.
all. And then we have to see that guy, Brandon. College.
Brandon and Kevin Crook and Steve McMahon and Yo-Yo was there.
Oh, nice.
Those guys are so great, it makes me sick.
Yeah.
Well, the cool thing is, I mean, so that rep was it? It's a Warner Brothers rep, or they?
Well, the woman that was there actually works for an advertising firm,
okay.
and Warner Brothers is one of her clients, but they deal with a lot of the movie studios.
Awesome.
Oh, Leo, check your messenger, by the way.
Rich, let me know when they start.
Yeah,
asking us
that's
to
what I was
screen
working
them
on
at
in the
home.
background.
Okay, cool, no problem.
Well, that would be nice too.
Yes.
Silent Leo, I think I'm just gonna stick to Marvel. I don't really think there was much for DC, so.
Wait, on Superman Day,
I'm talking the news.
I have some Superman news, so you can do both.
That's fine.
I don't care.
You know what?
Jeremy, they're arguing. Give us your Superman news.
Oh, wait, hold on. I'm Batman. There we go. Do it.
Batman is a fascist.
I have two things for Superman news.
Okay.
Hold on. Hey, Sergio, Tom Dog, the only Evil Dead film I've seen was what?
What?
Tom Dog,
wow.
You need to change that.
Tom.
Go backwards, man. You've got to see the original. You have to watch it at 2 a.m. alone.
Well,
But he knocks.
The original is super scary. The second one is friggin' hilarious.
It's a mix. There are one or two scary moments in
I
it.
think that first one you might need some edibles for. It's if
Yeah.
They were high.
Thing.
What was that, Carrie?
Oh, the pencil thing is what always really
yeah.
squicked me out on that one. It's like everything's going on, and you're like, okay, super campy. Oh God, ow.
Yeah.
You know.
And they don't even. Oh, that's in there. It is in there.
And I'll just add this at the end since we're delayed. The director Lee Cronin did a little preface before the movie. He really seemed passionate about it, and it looks like he's done a few horror movies that have done quite well before. So
that's good.
Yeah. Add another one to the resume.
Jeremy, may I just intercede just briefly on Superman news? There is actually one Superman news I did want to bring up.
What's that?
That I read the issue with John Kent fighting Ultraman and then Injustice Superman showing up. Holy shit, that ending was great. Like I gotta recommend you guys read it because oh my god, like wow. That's all I'm gonna say.
Have they done the whole series yet, or is it just
two? Yeah, but he showed up in the greatest way, and it's heartbreaking when you see it. So honestly, read that. That's all I'm gonna say. All right, Jeremy, go.
All right. So the cool thing, well, the first small thing is Superman Legacy went into production today.
Okay.
Dun, dun, dun.
Yes.
Yep, that's how
There
we
it
all
is.
know. And then this was kind of cool. I don't know if you guys heard about this. There's a new website called dailyplanetdc.com where it's like as if the Daily Planet were a real newspaper.
Cool.
Yeah, they have reporters and everything. And new articles come up, I think, every few hours. I don't know if it's totally run by like DC, but it does say have DC in the name. So I'm assuming that maybe as we get closer to movie time and stuff, that this may come in more into play.
Great Caesar's ghost. I feel like because it's Superman Day, even though we're talking a shit ton of Marvel, we should slip in Supermanisms, nonchalantly.
Great Caesar's ghost.
So I just wanted to read the tweet from James Gunn. So on Superman Day, he says, "I'm honored to be a part of the legacy. And what better day than Superman anniversary is the 85th anniversary today to dive fully into early pre-production of Superman Legacy, costumes, production design, and more now up and running."
I'm excited.
Oh, yeah.
Do you know that one of the characters from the comics we had to read this week reminded me of Superman? Not Superman, but the Snyderverse people. Flash Thompson in the chapter 1. I'm just like, that's a Snyderverse fan from all the way. Because like as soon as they put out that one page little, that's all they got. This sucks. This is all they've got for us. Blah blah blah. I'm just like, are you guys serious? Like, I'm excited. Like, what did you want? The movie? Like, I don't get it.
Joe's asking, anybody watching the new Gotham on the new CW?
There's a new Gotham?
Are you talking about Gotham Knights?
Yeah, Gotham Knights. I don't know anyone that's watching it. I haven't heard great things though.
No, that's going the way of Batgirl, where people are going to talk about it, but no one's actually watching it. With all due respect. And it's disappointing because really good talent, like, Misha Collins is going to be Harvey Dent. Carrie brought up that the guy who played Pinhead in Hellraiser is Joe Chill.
Oh, no kidding.
Doug Bradley.
Yeah, you have just amazing talent. But the same thing happened in Gotham. You had all this great talent,
dude,
and it's just, with all due respect to any fans who might be watching.
I got to work with David or David Mizzou on stage. The kid is, or no longer a kid. I hate to call him a kid. I do that to everybody, though. I'm trying to correct myself lately.
You call me
he is an amazing actor, and he was great to work with on stage. I thought he was professional all the way.
Nice.
Oh, man, this is actually really cool.
Well, speaking of Batman series, Joe and Anthony Russo threw their hats into the ring to possibly work with James Gunn. They said, James over there running it, it's a no-brainer. We love him to death. We love the direction he's going to take with the world. He's going to be inventive with it. And the pair also name-checked Batman as their favorite DC character, though admitted that was the obvious answer.
Which Batman are they?
Batman Brave and the Bold.
I like that. That actually could really work, especially they have a good sense of humor and timing. But here's my question. If they do that, which character from Community is going to make a cameo? Because as you know, there are big directors in that, and every one of their projects had actors who were in Community in it. And it was so great to see. Like, even Yvette Nicole Brown, she was in Endgame.
So in Brave and the Bold, can we expect like a little storyline going on in the background that like you need to keep an eye out for?
That would be kind of interesting.
It over everybody's head.
I guess so.
So if you watch Community, there's an ongoing storyline in the background with some of the characters.
It's true. No,
Yeah.
I got it. I just wanted to see them say.
Okay. Yeah,
Drew, I'm pitching John Glover as Alfred.
You just want
As
another
Alfred.
excuse to hang out with your convoy toy. You know,
Which I will do this summer.
That's totally
Terrificon.
I want to be there.
Oh, we're all going to be there.
Fun. And here's what we're going to do. We're going to do role reversal. You're going to interview him this time. You know?
Someone's after the video in slow motion or
I'll be behind the camera for that one. I'm totally going to be coaxing it along. Be like, kiss. Come on, this is the dramatic end.
I'll do it.
I get to see
I'll commit.
There's no shame in our game.
I can just see
me and you at a con are just crazy.
Yeah,
That'll be fun. It's gonna be fun.
I really want to come and take you guys because next time you're at a con, I know I've told you about it. I want you all in a line and doing the walk down the con like the guys from Swingers when they're going down the street. We're just gonna get a slow shot of the Dorkening men. It's gonna be.
What would be great is we all pretend to be walking in slow motion while everybody around us is moving in regular pace.
No. What it should be is we got the slow-mo Kill Bill walk. You know, I did that for a wedding once. We were walking to the limo. I was like, I got the perfect song. We're just like, we are the coolest. and one of us was in a suit of armor, so we really were. Yeah, good wedding. But did you have any news, Jeremy?
Netflix is ending DVD mailing September 29th.
What?
That's how big of a news day today was.
Oh my God. No. I remember that. Do you guys remember the Netflix you could send in and they'd send you the DVDs and they were always scratched?
Yep.
And horrible. And you just, I pray, please play.
It was amazing though. Like you would put those things in the mail one day and the next day you'd have a new DVD.
Yeah.
You'd be like, what's going on here?
No, you know what was even better?
They know?
You know what was even better?
What was even better, Grandpa Leo?
Well, other than going to Blockbuster on Friday night, and just like talking to random people, but Blockbuster's mail-in service. So
Yeah,
they tried to do a Netflix on their own. And the
Which
cool
is
thing
interesting because Blockbuster had an opportunity to buy Netflix at one point, and they balked at it.
Oh yeah, they laughed him out of the room. Yeah. So with Blockbuster though, you could get the mail-in, and so like say you were done with your mail-in, you could go to a Blockbuster store, and then swap it out for another rental. So you didn't have to wait for the mail. You could just like walk over to Blockbuster and drop off the disc, and that's old school,
That's basically what Blockbuster was, though.
Oh yeah.
You're just waiting for one thing in the mail instead of driving to the store, which is exactly far away from your house as the post office is. Do people use the post office now?
Joe, sorry to interrupt you, Carrie, but Joe, we wish we had the funds and abilities to be at all these cons because I swear, if I could, I would. But I'm pretty sure I'm not going to be there. I'm fairly certain any of these lovely gentlemen.
I don't think
J-Bo's going to be there.
Yeah, J-Bo's going to be there. Our toy man.
The toy man will be there.
Yeah. So Joe, stop on over to see J-Bo. And yeah, Carrie, totally with what was I going to say there about Blockbuster?
That you liked it.
I did
like
the
Raisinets and Goobers and the microwave popcorn.
Can't wait for that.
I hated Blockbuster because I worked at Movie Gallery.
Like Blockbuster, you run up late fees at one, and then you can just go open an account at another one in a different town. And
I still have my Blockbuster card if my wallet was on me.
So when you were younger, were you just bored and you decided to be a grifter? Because a lot of cons. It was just, well, Pa, I killed all the snakes. I'm gonna go run up the block.
Now I'm going to go work for the KGB guy making fake video games.
After I kill this pile of snakes.
Exactly. I can just see this now. Like he just thinks one day I'm going to run an entertainment website that'll have a multitude of shows where people can listen in and talk about their favorite things in a nonconformist, open-minded platform that's for nerds. And then my God, that's a big snake. You know?
Well, yeah.
See,
I won't bring it up. Never mind.
The fact that he's tried and he was like, yeah, that was it. First try.
Okay, sticking on to Superman news.
Yes.
So Mattel
Mhm.
is releasing a Supergirl Barbie.
Oh, I gotta pick that up.
Is that the one they're based? Is that based on the one that we're going to see in the Flash movie?
Yeah,
I believe so.
Nice. That looks actually pretty cool.
Yeah. So Supergirl Barbie doll release date April 17th. And you can pre-order it now from Mattel Creations for $55.
Oh, I am not buying that. I
That's-
lied.
Yeah.
But that's not bad for those size with those boxes. They're like their premier line. Like a million years ago, I worked as a manager for a toy conglomerate that no longer exists. That used to have a big thing in New York with 3 letters, FAO. And those things back in like 1990 were going for like $70-$80 a piece. So $55 is not bad for a Barbie of that caliber.
Oh, I agree, but it is for my wallet.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
I will wait to find it at a garage sale one day.
There you go.
Tousled hair, cape is all ripped. Like this Supergirl's seen some things.
Oh, I've got Batgirl Barbie with the Bat Cycle. I got that for $20 out of.
Oh, nice.
Wow.
That thing's sweet in box.
That's impressive.
That's
Yeah.
a deal.
Yeah, I do not mess around when I hunt.
Trust me. Like I love it when it gets to like that midpoint between spring and summer. People are like, warmer weather. I was like, it's garage sales.
Enter your garages now.
It's like Mad Max and the Fury Road, but thrifting.
It's the one thing I will actually go out for. I'm like, yeah,
deal because you
give
are.
me your trash.
I'm trying to start a GoFundMe so we can buy you a proper shell because you are days away from being in a glass cage. Like, what's that? Herbarium? What is it?
I know a terrarium.
Thank you, a terrarium. You know, just
I'm going to melt soon.
just put out little devil's lettuce, and he'll just and then back of the shell. Just
I was gonna say, rather than just wait for that, you can just wait till the economy collapses. Then everybody's gonna be selling off all their stuff wicked cheap.
I cannot wait for it. I'm sorry.
I had no to say, and you depressed us again.
Leo, stuff has been going so high at like comic book collectibles and stuff. We finally are hitting where the stuff is starting to go down in value and price, and that's my favorite.
It's
like, good Lord.
Well,
it is.
We're looking to move within the next year, and I've been keeping a close eye on the housing market and everything. And I know this is like totally comic book related, because when everything
they
crashes,
fall
we
hand
can
in
buy.
hand. It seems.
Sorry, Leo. We're only down to one person watching us at the moment. So.
Yeah,
they'll catch it.
I'm hanging out.
Yeah. But it's looking like we're at the start of a crash that could totally dwarf the 2008 crash.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
I also can't wait because that means everyone's going to be home, which increases my delivery business.
There you go.
Mm-hmm,
People are lazy, even if they're broke.
Well,
so
yeah,
Leo,
and it totally is comic book related because in order to house things anymore, as the prizes are getting bigger and bigger and bigger, you have to be able to afford like a warehouse or a 5-bedroom house where 4 of them are just dedicated to all of your collections.
I thought
What are you talking about?
Jeremy built himself a whole room in the attic.
I thought he was going to get a warehouse. And it was going to be like the one for Raiders. You know, just at the end,
You shall not pass.
see
Yeah,
boxes
we
everywhere.
need to bring that to Terrificon. We need pictures.
Oh,
of
yeah.
you fucking around with that.
Oh, totally. I need Deadpoo needs to feel the power. And like, exactly. Kingdom of Hearts 4.
Joe says he got mine at KB Toys in West Springs.
Wow. Okay.
And
Talking about the Batgirl Batcycle, I'm assuming. Yeah.
Most likely, yeah. I
Remember
just wanted
when
to
there
say,
were toy stores?
What's that?
Remember toy stores? I miss them.
Restores.
Oh,
Like
You were saying, Leo?
that's sad.
every
We
time.
just went into mourning.
Yeah.
Big.
You know, I was just gonna say, you know, we were talking about Batman a little bit ago. I decided to reread the last 7 issues of the Chip Zdarsky run.
And
Holy crap, that is so good.
well,
Yeah,
listen, he's a good writer, man. You know, he's
he is.
stuff. You know, not just a good artist; he's a great writer. So yeah.
Yeah, absolutely loving it. I highly recommend you all read it. You know, when you can.
I have the issues. I haven't, because we keep getting into longer and longer series here on Splash Pages. I haven't had time to read my my pull. It's been they're
Challenge.
sitting there in a pile though. They're waiting for me.
And I told you, it's all about structure. You just want to be an artist. So you know, you make
Tomorrow it begins.
Well, it's kind of nice actually, because now I'll have, instead of like 1 issue a month reading, you know, wait until the next month. Now I'll have like at least of Batman. I think I have 7 or 8 issues I have to get through. So
So, 7 or
It'll
8
be a
future
nice run.
naps, Jeremy.
yeah.
I read them in 2 days, but okay, cool.
So, in moving the show along, Leo, is there any more news from you, sir?
Let's see. We're at the 50-year anniversary of the death of Gwen Stacy.
Oh,
And
But she's alive now, Spider-Gwen. They ruined that.
so we don't know what's going to happen. Marvel is teasing some big event for the next Spider-Man issue.
Are they going to snap her neck again?
I have the 411 on all that. I will go over that.
Okay. Well, yeah, before we toss over to Marvel news, just one last look at the 85th year of Superman. I know we talked about before in the pre-show, talking about maybe some of our favorite Superman stories. And why don't we do a little round table? Start with Carrie. Do you have a favorite Superman story or movie or show? Or
I didn't really watch the movies when I was growing up, but
No?
since I've been following you gents, I watched the first one. You know, when
You have homework.
and Jesus Christ.
Not homework.
Do you know how many comics I have read for this show starting since White Knight? Over 650. I did the math last night.
Wow.
And that's like in 2 months. But
That would take me
no.
5 years.
Skynet. You are Skynet in a gothic body. I swear.
So no, my favorite story. It's because of the recent stuff that I read. I really like the Injustice, but we have to go with the touching moment of Superman in All-Star saving the girl on the roof. That was just too beautiful.
Yeah.
So I wasn't a huge fan growing up. I was like, Superman's stupid. I'm reading Ghost Rider. And so it was like, oh, he really does all these things and it's cute. So
Yes.
that's
what about
fine.
you? Awesome. Jar Jar.
Let's see. I know my least favorite Superman moment in comics was when they turned him into the red and blue, the little flash of lightning or whatever. My favorite though, and that was actually where I stopped collecting Superman. It was kind of a sad day. My favorite.
So the mullet didn't push you out, Jeremy.
No. I thought that was sweet. I thought he looked dashing like that. I was like,
That was
damn,
90s.
Superman.
Everybody had a mullet in the 90s, you know?
Oh,
You should have seen my. Never mind.
Right there with you, Jar Jar. Red hair to the middle of my back.
Yeah. well, gross. You're both gross. Continue.
I would have to say my favorite though is probably not in the comics, would be Christopher Reeve's Superman 4 too. Like, I know everybody says that's the worst Superman, but like, I was a kid when that came out. I saw it in the theater with my dad, and it's not a lot of happy moments in the childhood, but that was one of the good ones. So,
Oh, nice. Drew.
This is hard because I'm similar to Carrie. I always was like, Superman's fat, Batman rules. As I read more, I was like, there are good Superman stories. It's just, few and far between. Oh, it's tough. I hate mullet Superman so much. I think he looks so ridiculous. Like when he showed up and he got his hair cut when he came back to life, I was like, oh, good. Nice. Christopher Reeve is the blueprint of all Superman. That's just how it's synonymous with it. Everybody else who's done it since then brings something new to the table, just like Batman, and they're all Superman in some aspect. In terms of favorite comic Superman, I really did love All Star. Like, I thought All Star Superman was just fantastic, Silver Age wise. But I want to go with the classic. I really love Superman and John Byrne and Steel. That was one of the quintessential rebirthing of Superman, and yeah, great stuff. Yeah. So I could go on and on, but we don't have the time for that. So Rich, next.
Let's see. Yes, Christopher Reeves, blah, blah, blah. I'm just not going to rehash everything that they did because I grew up in the 70s, and that was my Superman, or my first TV Superman live action for sure. Comic-wise, there's actually quite a bit. The Action Comics series, where every week there was a new guest star, which was, I believe, in the late 80s. Was fantastic. John Byrne did a bunch of those. Also, the Superman Batman series where Kara was taken by Darkseid and she went dark. That was great. And in the animated, I really like Superman Unbound, which was the Brainiac story. It was very violent and the artwork was spectacular. So those are my Supermans.
Yeah. Nice. Good call, Rich. Leo.
Christopher Reeve, definitely number one. He will always be my Superman. But yeah, Rich, same here. Growing up being old farts, that's our Superman. But for the books, by Jeff Johns and art by Gary Frank, Superman Secret Origin. Absolutely love that book. I love it so much I accidentally bought it twice. And another one that I really enjoy is American Alien. And it's just hilarious to see a drunk Superman.
That's Max Landis, right? Yeah.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah. That was one of the last things he did. Yeah, I heard it good.
Yeah, really good story.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, those are mine.
All right, cool.
And Jar Jar, everybody, if you enjoy the Christopher Reeve Superman, definitely. Actually, we might have read it. The Secret Origin. Did we read it here?
No, I don't think. No, because we were talked about. The origin we read was Superman for All Seasons, which was fine. I just seem to recall Rich wasn't a big fan, but it was still good.
Secret Origin is a very Christopher Reeve heavy. Even the artwork is very Christopher. It just has that feeling of. Yeah.
Jeff Johns was very close to Richard Donner.
I'm with Drew. Like, a lot of Superman stories are hard. Even when I was collecting Superman, like, if you weren't the right writer on Superman, there's a feeling to Superman. Yeah, it was boring.
Yeah,
boring is probably the best way.
It's white
to put
bread.
it.
You're white bread.
That's what I just feel, just briefly on Superman, and then we'll move on to other stuff. That's why I liked multiverses, because I felt like it was always, we could look at him in a different context and whatnot. Like, one of my Like, we talk about injustice. I mean, man,
Oh yeah.
man from Red Sun was a fucking boss, you know? And the only one that was more frightening in his universe was their version of Batman. So, you know, which is funny because I remember I was reading an article that they always talk about how the cliche of an evil Superman
I
has,
have Red Sun Batman.
so you know. But, and I was like, yeah,
Oh,
like
boy.
it's so easy to jump to that, Superman has turned evil and, you know, the world is doomed. And I'm like, yeah, like, I was like, that's about as overplayed as the multiverse itself. Thanks, kid.
I forgot. I will include a favorite Superman thing, Bizarro. When the whole Bizarro world is like, that was something that Superman did that I was really impressed about when I was a kid, and now I'm just insane about as an adult. So
Yeah, you loved Bizarro.
yeah, I do.
Nice.
Very
All
cool.
right.
So
We
there's
got
our
more news?
Superman tribute for today. Happy
Yeah.
anniversary, Superman. 85 years. Shiegel and Schuster would be proud.
Oh
Oh
yeah.
yeah. Oh yeah. So not Superman related, but kicking over to Marvel, Ryan Reynolds is caught saying, well, not caught, but he's saying that the Wolverine in Deadpool 3 is going to be a large divergence from the Wolverine that we know.
Okay.
They haven't really given any specifics. But apparently Hugh Jackman was really excited, and he said it's going to be a fun go on, at Wolverine.
Oh my God. I mean, what is that man gonna do when he's not pumping the iron 24/7, man?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tom Dog says, I currently own a replica issue of Superman 1 that I got from Loot Crate. Also own the Death of Superman and the Return of Superman that I bought at my sponsor store. All three are my favorites. Awesome.
Oh,
And
yeah.
Joso, how about World's Finest? Yeah, that's a good
Oh,
story.
it's fine. It's pretty good.
Absolutely.
That was the first team up of Batman and Superman, right? World's Finest.
World's finest.
And didn't they have DC Presents? Wasn't that always Superman and someone, like a team up type of thing?
Something like that. Yeah, they
A
did.
lot of. I think it combined a lot of Superman, but I don't think it was all Superman. Because some, I
okay.
remember Ambush Bug was on a few of them with other characters, but he did do the DC Comics Present 47, which is Superman versus He-Man.
Only-
I brought it to a halt.
Drew, save us.
What?
You-
Me? Wait, Leo, there's one thing I just added in there. Now check it out.
Oh, I'm sorry. I just wanted to add to the Ryan Reynolds thing about the tweet about X-Force.
Yes. What about the tweet about X-Force, Jar Jar Jar?
It seems they will be in the new Deadpool 3 as well as Wolverine.
Export.
X Forever was the tweet with a picture of the X-Force team. So
Nice.
Yeah.
I hope we get more Vanisher.
As Splash Pages is Peter, I will tell you I'm very excited about more X-Force. And just to let you all know, I definitely did type 3 diabetes. Just waiting for it.
So Drew, is this the new item you were telling me about?
Yes. So before we get to Marvel, I did want to bring this up because I thought this was super cool. So it looks like Nightwing may be getting a new costume. This is a little bit of a spoiler for Nightwing 103, so apologies for y'all. But boom. So Nightwing.
At least he doesn't
Was
have
that the
collar.
costume that we just saw? Because
Yeah.
that didn't
Yeah.
look too different than a costume that I've seen him definitely wear before in the 80s.
The George Perez.
That's
80s.
what it's referencing. So in the issue, you have Nightwing and the Titans are in hell, chasing a new villain, where they of course run into Neron, the demon who's always bartering for souls, giving other people power, who had made a deal with the now deceased Blockbuster to collect his daughter's soul. So Neron, of course, is trying to tempt Nightwing. He basically hits him with a proposal. So it's, as he quotes, "You must have so many feelings of inadequacy around your fellow heroes. You must struggle as a mortal man to keep up with these people with amazing powers. I know what you want for humanity. How much could you achieve if I connected you to the Speed Force? how much could you do with the strength of a Kryptonian? So he offers to give him the taste of the power, and then you have that costume we just saw, the blue, the gold, the black, which is, as Rich pointed out, is a bit of an homage to a lot of Dick's past outfits. One of them being the George Perez disco-esque era Nightwing that we saw in
Teen Titans.
Well, no, it was in Teen Titans, but it was that arc with Terra and everything. I own it. My brain's every once in a while I just had a brain fart. But
that old outfit also had like the tassels too, right?
Leo, I know
they have tassels.
Work and do something.
Could that have been the one also?
Didn't
he have like a big sort of like neck thing going on at one point?
Yeah, that was
high collar tassels.
Yeah, high collar.
Yeah. Yes, tassels.
It's the boots.
But yeah, so that I had to bring up. I thought that looked super duper cool. That's for Nightwing 103. I believe that might be out already. So that's the Tom Taylor, Bruno Redondo. I think still can't wait for issue 105, which, as we brought up last time, or at least one of the times past, will be the POV issue where we get to see a day in Nightwing's life, which I'm super pumped about. Because if anything, that's going to be super cool. But now, because we don't want to just talk about all of DC, or else we could get hit with an injunction by Marvel, there is some Marvel news. So,
Drew, since there's so many pictures and they're kind of out of order, how about I pull up the picture and you tell the story?
That sounds great, Leo.
Okay, tell us about this.
Okay, so Leo, this is something you've already brought up. So this is Simone Bianchi. And again, see, Leo might not be the only person who has trouble with names and splash pages.
I could not tell if you're saying that name right at all.
Yeah, I know. And I've met the person too. So that's so that's the variant from Simone Bianchi. So that is Amazing Spider-Man issue 26, which is an issue that Marvel's calling the most shocking in 50 years. So we have Peter finally learns essentially what has been happening he had this big kind of explanation about why him and Mary Jane didn't work, and she's like has a family now and he's still Peter Parker. So the thing releases with the secret of what Peter did finally revealed. The emissary has returned with powers far beyond Spider-Man's abilities. Now the heroes may figure out a way to win, but the cost of victory may be so immense that you may hope they don't. So that's the Simone Bianchi cover. And then you see Peter swinging high over the Brooklyn Bridge, where, as Leo pointed out, Gwen Stacy meets her tragic end. And it is rumored that they might essentially try to pull a death of Gwen Stacy, but instead of Gwen, we have MJ, which, as Jeremy would point out, her death, while still being one of the most traumatic Marvel moments ever published, thank you, Jerry Conway, kind of got a little, in his opinion, got a little ruined with the inclusion of Spider-Gwen, being that she's basically part of the mainstream world, even though she is from a completely separate Marvel universe. Who can tell anymore? Again, proving yet again that in comics, death is only for normal people.
Uncle Ben.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yes. So,
Ben.
Leo.
Got to watch him die a few times this week.
So Leo. Yes, this I'm super.
Wow.
This
that looks slick.
If you know those feet, you know who's under that costume.
So that's Uncanny Spider-Man. It is a 5-issue limited series written by Cy Spurrier. It's basically continuing his work that he did in the now coming to an end Jonathan Hickman era of X-Men. He did Legion of X, Nightcrawlers, and that's drawn by Lee Garbett. Was a great artist. He did a lot of great Batman work earlier at one point. I've met him. Really nice guy. He also, if you guys remember, he was the one who did the art for the death of Doctor Strange. So that's the artist. So as Marvel put it, the heart of the X-Men, Kurt has always shined as one of the most heroic and daring mutants in the franchise. Now, as the darkness of Fall of X overwhelms his fellow mutants, Nightcrawler will embrace a new role as classic New York City's bamfing hero. So So we're going to see Nightcrawler fighting a lot of Spider-Man rogues, saving civilians, both being human alike. But as it also puts, Kurt's having a time of life, but it's not all fun and games. Nightcrawler will also be a lone soldier on the frontiers of mumankind's upcoming war with the Orchids. Throughout the saga, he also confront a long simmering mystery surrounding his mother Mystique, as Spurrier's bold transformation of the character approaches a startling climax. So, he, from what I'm reading here, he's very excited. Cy Spurrier, he's very excited. And he put it in a restyled Spidey suit, bamfing across New York and rubbing shoulders and butting heads with the best heroes and villains of Marvel Millennium. But it's not as simple. Is Nightcrawler really doing this for the thrill, or is he hiding? Is he either put on a mask and punch some villains in the nose than to stare trauma in the eye? So, that'll be on sale September 6th. So you got that. The cover is by artist Tony Daniel, who, as we know, from all of his Batman work, totally can't wait. I'm actually kind of excited. I might check that one out. That does look kind of good to me.
From what I read, also, the Nightcrawler character has gotten really serious in the Hickman era. So this is a return to his sort of original personality. So it should be nice to see.
Indeed, and I love the suit. I can't wait to see if someone does that at a con. I'm gonna get a photo because it looks so good.
Yeah.
Sick. Plus, who doesn't like going around just bam,
bam, badass motherfuckers.
I'm Kurt Wagner. I'm from the circus.
Rich.
Hello, Peter.
Next. Yes.
Whoa.
So we have here
Justice.
175 issues of She-Hulk. So with the upcoming issue, She-Hulk number 12 by Rainbow Rowell and Andres Gillette, She-Hulk hits her 175th issue. So, as Marvel put it, not only does she find herself facing with a brand new villain Scoundrel, but she also puts her whole law practice in danger. All this plus bonus stories that will have people talking. I was like, wow, that's super dope. Can't wait. But there's also a lot of other Marvel stuff that I unfortunately don't have the content for. This week, we're going to do that.
Yep.
You had it in your document.
Just hold on. I just want to hold on. So we're going to see the end of Jason Aaron's Avengers run. So Avengers Assemble Omega issue 1. That's the finale. So this is the end of Aaron's 5-year run. So this is going to be a huge issue. Tons of artists, smorgasbord of Avengers, and of course, a couple of emotional gut punches that only Jason Aaron could do. Sins of Sinister will continue in Nightcrawler's issue 3. We already talked about, we're building up to issue 26 with Amazing Spider-Man issue 24. And then Adam Warlock is back. He's doing his thing. And so that's pretty much it. So it's an untold story there with Warlock Rebirth, issue number 1. So this is by Ron Mars and Ron Leem, who, as we know, Ron Leem was one of the artists who contributed to the Infinity Gauntlet back in the day. Yep. So very exciting. Some pretty cool stuff. But now, Leo, next. So this Marvel announced on July 5th, the day after July 4th, of course, because symbolism, Captain America issue 750. So Marvel promises the impact will be huge with this issue, as for both captains and Aftermath are just in time for this milestone. So the issue is written by Colin Kelly and Jackson Lansing, a duet who I know of from their work on the Batman and Robin Eternal series. This with art by Carmen Carnero, as the issue celebrates the reunion of Steve and Bucky. So you're going to have also a bunch of new backup stories. starring Steve and Sam. Guest writers, classic cat creators like J.M. DeMatteis, Dan Jurgens going to be there with other artists celebrating essentially everything. So, as it puts the Captain America mourn their fallen. After the harrowing events of Captain America Cold War, the Captain America return home to face the cost of victory and honor the power of legacy. So you're going to see a new origin for Sam Wilson's shield, why he chose to pick the mantle up. The reunion of Sam and Bucky, and as Leo just showed us, the gorgeous cover by Gary Frank. Gary Frank, who did Jeff Johns' Doomsday Clock. He's done a ton of work over the years. I mean, look at that. It's just stunning. So that is coming out. Because I want to give you guys the dates, and I don't have them, so it's coming out. Yeah.
Oh, didn't you say July 5th?
Yes, I did. And thank you for realizing I was on a roll, and sometimes I can't stop.
And Velvet, you should have said Banff when he came back.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I was losing power. I had to go grab a cord real quick. Sorry.
And Drew, I think this is the last time he gave me.
I think so. Yeah, it is. And look, and again, another gorgeous work by Gary Frank. So on August 31st, Marvel will be celebrating 84 years with a colossal Marvel Age 1000, a massive issue with contributions of some of its various creators. A few surprises too. So that celebrates the release of Marvel Comics 1, which is the issue back in the day, must have either been in their Atlas or Timely Comics days. That started it all. So that
the Human Torch on the front of it.
Indeed. Yeah. So you've got that nice symbolism. So they have released some slight tidbits of the people there. So we're going to see John Michael Straczynski and Kari Andrews create the Marvel Universe in a backyard. Dan Slott and Michael Allred are going to depict a crucial turning point for Captain Marvel. Rainbow Rowell and Marguerite Sauvage explore the blossoming relationship between Cyclops and Jean Grey. The original Human Torch finds its purpose with Mark Waid and Alessandro Cappuccio. The Silver Surfer confronts Leo, Mephisto, whatever the fuck. He's the devil, okay? God. Under the guidance of Steve McNiven, who has just basically been announced for Terrificon, so keep that eye out. Jason Aaron and Pepe Larraz detect Thor's impact on a mortal life. Ryan Stegman explores the support network of Spider-Man's friends and allies. Armando Iannucci and Adam Kubert pit Daredevil against a human problem. And I'm seeing if there's anything else there. One other thing that's to note is that Marvel Age number 1000 will see the return of the Marvel Comic Value Stamp, which was a tradition publisher began in the 70s. Leo, if you bring back the cover for just a hot minute. All right, well, you can't see. All right, well, you can't see it, but it's there. Where they started in the 70s and has been discontinued. So that's a Gary Frank cover. That issue releases August 30th. So definitely keep an eye out on that one, kids.
I wonder if, like, because a lot of books, when they're sold today from Marvel, from that era where the value stamps, it's like value stamp intact, blah, blah, blah. You know how they have the digital downloads inside a lot of comics today? I wonder if that'll become a thing in like 10 to 20 years. Hey, digital comic inside still intact, blah, blah, blah.
Listen, if you can sell it and make a buck, you better believe they're going to do it.
Oh, yeah. But
yeah, so that's all.
Yeah. Kind of like what was it? What was that game they linked it with? There was this Batman series that they linked with a video game, and you had like the little cards inside.
Of course they did.
It's an online multiplayer game. It was like last year. The issues started like the issues skyrocketed in price because it was like a special like.
You talking about the Fortnite?
Yeah, that
whatever
was Fortnite,
crossover. Yeah, they did. I think it was Fortnite or one of those.
Yeah.
Video games. Yeah, they did a crossover, and inside you got a special like outfit or weapon or something because of the comic.
Yeah, that was a fucked up series. Like Batman's memory reset every issue.
Did it?
Yeah.
That's good. But yeah, so that's the news I had there. But there is one little news that I caught by random, which I definitely think is worth bringing up. I was watching a answer Google questions. It's a thing that's online where actors and shows and whatnot will have like little peel away boards and they'll answer questions that people Google on Google. And it was Steve Yuen and Ali Wong, who are on a Netflix series called Beef right now. That's out. Apparently, it's getting really good reviews. And they were talking. One of the questions was about Invincible, and he mentioned that, and he did confirm that he has recorded all of the lines for season 2, which we know will be coming out this year, but he has also done it for season 3.
Oh, nice.
So season 3, everybody. So
Of Invincible, it's in the can.
oh
Yeah.
yeah. So
That means they have no excuses. I want it the day after tomorrow.
you won't like Jeremy when he gets mad. He gets he gets taller and more gangly, like a giant stilt monster. So without further ado, I'd like to introduce you guys to our dueling comics. So, our recommendation. May I introduce them?
Go for it.
Okay. So we have first up, Spider-Man Chapter 1, which was in the 90s. Marvel approached the great John Byrne, writer artist who we've known with his work on X-Men, Alpha Flight, Superman, all these other things. They wanted to reinvent Superman. See, listen, I did it too. We wanted to reinvent Spider-Man in a more modern context. So Byrne had, I think, what was it, 9 to 12 issues for this Chapter 1, which is kind of functions similar to Batman Year 1, kind of. This is the first year of Peter starting out. So it's a little bit more of a modernized thing, condenses certain things, changed up some stuff. While most people applauded the effort, and John Byrne, does his best, it was not the critical darling or the commercial success that Marvel wanted it, and a lot of it got dismissed or kind of lost in the retconness. We don't know if Byrne's bitter about it. He has enough controversy in his career, so if he was, we probably forgot it. And then on another end, funny enough, that series mixed review is what led to the other book we're going to be talking about today, which was Ultimate Spider-Man, which was the then publisher Bill Jemas reached out to Brian Michael Bendis, who is an independent writer, most known for books like his creator-owned series Jinx, which he was the writer and the artist for, fun fact, and things like, as Carrie can vouch for, his creator series Torso, which he did with Michael Gaydos, which was a story about an unsolved serial killer that Elliot Ness pursued during Prohibition. So this was one of Bendis' first works. He worked with, He worked with Mark Bagley, who we know as one of the prominent artists of Spider-Man in the 90s, and it shows because his expressions are fantastic. They would collaborate on Ultimate Spider-Man, which was a resounding success, especially Bendis took a one-page issue back in the day, the Amazing Fantasy issue 14, and turned it into a 7-issue story arc, going through Peter's beginning as Spider-Man, and then, of course, his first confrontation with his first villain, the infamous Green Goblin. It was a resounding success. The series essentially gave birth to the Ultimate Universe, and Bendis and Bagley would collaborate for 111 issues, breaking, I believe, the record that was last held by Stan Lee and Jack Kirby themselves. So that's the introduction. I'm done talking, so somebody else, please, for the love of God.
All right. So Chapter 1. What did everybody think? Like, did everybody... I myself had a lot of trouble with Chapter 1.
Mm-hmm.
Like, getting through it. It was difficult. Although I thought it was going to be a lot better because the first issue I read was issue 0.
Mm-hmm.
In
Which I
issue
read as
0,
well.
I sped through. I kind of just like bam, bam, bam. Everything seemed faster paced.
Right.
And then I got into issue 1 and issue 2, 3. And then I was like, Carrie, I think I'm going to kill myself.
Yeah.
I don't know if I can deal with Spider-Man's friggin' intro into comics again and blah, blah, blah.
Okay. So, Rich, what do you think?
Yeah.
Well, interestingly enough, similar to Jeremy, reverse, stop that, go first. Burp, burp, burp. Okay. So I read Ultimate first,
Okay.
which was a mistake because Ultimate is number 1, the superior storyline.
Yes.
It's written, it's much a smoother read. The art is fantastic in both. Listen, there are certain aspects of John Byrne's art I loved in that series.
Right.
I loved his Doctor Doom.
Yeah.
I loved all his Fantastic Four stuff.
What-
I even liked his Flash Thompson.
Yeah.
But there were times when it felt like he was trying, even though they were modernizing it, it felt like there were times when he was like putting Peter Parker in that like 1950s, 1960s kind of look. And I'm like, why are you going forward and back at the same time?
See, I actually dug that though.
It just didn't make sense with what they were trying to accomplish. Like Doc Ock was very cool looking.
Yeah.
But I think it was the story that suffered, and we all know John Byrne can have an ego at times over the years, and he was the inker, letterer, penciler, and writer, I think, on this. So maybe he just took on a little too much on this story.
Yeah. All right. So, Leo, what did you think?
I read chapter 1 first, and I totally agree. I had a really difficult time getting through it. But I really, the artwork is amazing in both, like you said. But like, I really dug, like they were trying to really give an homage to Steve Ditko's art.
Yeah.
You know, the way they drew young Peter, you know, with the big glasses and everything. I absolutely love that. But yeah, the story was so difficult to get through. But you know, after reading this and then getting into Ultimate Spider-Man, Drew, I have to say, fuck you.
I thought it was going to be, when I got into Ultimate, I was like, shit, it's another retelling. And I was like, fuck, I'm going to die again. I flew through it.
So
Ultimate was so refreshing.
I love origin stories, but it's like Ultimate was so much better. It's friggin' phenomenal. I'm going to go back and I'm going to read more.
Thank you. You're welcome. So, Carrie, what did you think? I mean, you haven't really read.
This was Drew's trick.
Yeah.
He's like, I'm going to get you all through the Ultimate Universe.
Yeah, he already had me. I've already read the entire Ultimate Spider-Man and the Ultimates, and I'm on the Ultimate X-Men right now. So that was last week, you know. I'm with everybody else. I'd already read the Ultimate Spider-Man, so coming in here, I started with 0. I read the whole thing, of course, you know, the whole 12 issues plus the 0. But it drugged so bad. And there were some nice references. I hate J. Jonah Jameson more in chapter 1 than I do in some other stuff. But there were just some weird little, like, he's going to pay me $500,000. And how am I going to explain this to Aunt May? You know, like, oh, I guess I'm not getting paid anyway. But when he even starts initially bringing things home to help out the family, they're like, where are you getting all this money, Peter? And
don't
ask me no questions and I'll tell you no lies. And it's like, dude, Uncle Ben would have just said, no.
Yeah.
Where are you getting this money, Peter? You know,
what's going on here?
And speaking about Uncle Ben, Ultimate Uncle Ben is cool as shit.
Yeah, what happened there?
I wish he was my Uncle Ben. He was the man.
Guys, I will get to all of that. Let's just chapter 1 first. Carrie, were you finished with your assessment?
I did have one thing that I noticed when I was just going back, because I was getting ready to watch this with you guys and then actually got invited after you started. But I don't know if this was a throwback or not, but in Ultimate Spider-Man, issue number 6, towards the end, when he is fighting Osborn, he has a line, dude, seriously, this is mighty low to trash a school like that. That's just low. That's like a notch below film producer. And in chapter 1, of course, Norman Osborn is a film producer instead of a scientist. So I didn't know if that was actually supposed to be that or what.
Oh my God! Do you think that was a little like a kind
Like a little burn?
Dig?
A burn on burn?
A John Byrne?
A John Byrne burn?
Yeah, that was just something I noticed.
John Byrne squared?
Would not put it past them. I mean, because Ultimate was kind of fixing the mistake. Like, I don't want to say mistake, because like you guys said, there are good things in it, and I do agree, Jeremy. The story didn't feel as bad when like the Fantastic Four were in it. I'm like, oh, okay. Like, he had that moment like, I don't know if I want to be Spider-Man, and then Human Torch is like, yeah, so I get scared as shit because I'm just a teenager and this is fucking frightening. Peter's like, wow, I'm being a little bitch. Cool. I'm gonna be Spider-Man again. I felt like he just did his best to kind of condense all of like the 60s in 12 issues. And it was a lot. And then on top of it, like, oh, we're doing new costumes. Like, but not everybody had a new costume. Like, yeah, Electro had a new costume, as we saw. And then Ock, like the biggest change was that similar to, and then when they did this in the Ultimate Universe, kind of, where he got his powers the same time as Ock did. So they're united in that regard. But beyond that, I was like, okay, well, but it's not really different. Like, it's subtle differences. It's like when you just paint over the holes, you're like, all right, it doesn't match, but it's better than nothing. And then the Ultimate Universe, I mean, I've said it for years. I'll still keep saying, I mean, it's one of the best things Marvel's ever done. I mean, like I said, Bendis took one issue and he made it 7, and it feels so authentic. They talk like teenagers. They think like it. Aunt May and Uncle Ben are totally modernized, and it's great. Like Aunt May looking up, instead of being the old widow, she's got spunk. She's looking shit up on the web. She thinks Peter's got a thing. I'm gonna look this up.
Banana nut bread.
Yeah, exactly. It's gonna be pizza that's gonna most likely taste like meatloaf. But that was great. Peter, I think my favorite thing about Peter is how short he is in the Ultimate Universe. Like, he's a little small, a little smallian.
I also preferred my Peter in the Ultimate Universe. Peter in Chapter 1 was a little more cocky than I thought Peter should be. Like, he had a group of friends already and stuff. He wasn't the nerd outcast as in Ultimate.
Well, also, I loved that they explained his wit in Ultimate as well.
Yeah,
it's a nervous tick. He's scared, so he's being
says
funny.
Something smart real quick.
Yeah, I absolutely love that.
Well, and then the little changes, like how Peter didn't come up with the web fluid, his dad did, but then he modified it, and it kind of reminded me of how they tried explaining that in the Spider-Man the Animated Series. Like, remember when there was an episode where he was meeting with somebody and she was asking him how he made the webs, and he said like he thinks that he built it because he felt like the spider imprinted the knowledge into his mind. And I was like, wow, that's a really clever way of explaining how the fuck a kid can just build.
That would make sense. It's kind of,
Now,
like,
leave that here for a second. This was a really awesome re-emerging of the Green Goblin in this form.
This was very different. Yeah,
it's very scary, very monstrous.
And what I also love is that, because later on, the thing that created it was, and that's the funny thing. So as I don't mind spoiling it, that the thing that created the Green Goblin also gave us Doc Ock, which was very similar to Chapter 1.
And pretty dark that they have him kill his wife and Harry's mother like right away.
Yeah, exactly. And then I also loved that you really saw, like, everything was very realistic to me. Like, you know, you see Peter's rise. He has these powers. He gets a little drunk with the power. He has the fallout with Uncle Ben. The whole thing, like, everything to me was very real. So then he's still also how he got the suit. He didn't make it. It was a wrestling outfit that he modified. I'm like, wow. Like, again, Bendis did it in a way that you can understand why the Ultimate Universe became the blueprint for the MCU, because it's all rooted in reality that makes sense. You know what I mean? Like, Peter has barely been a superhero for a month, and he's fighting a supervillain. He has no idea what the fuck he's doing. He even admits it's like, I have no idea what's going on, and I'm going to die. You know? Yeah, I'm just, again, like, rereading this. I mean, I own these issues. So, you know, rereading these, I mean, I just appreciated it. Yeah, it's a little dated because this was early 2000, but it's still so good. You know? And you can see how this started the Ultimate Universe. It was a fresh take, and the purpose of the Ultimate Universe was, again, to give us characters that were outside, you know, that were modernized and didn't require 60 years of continuity. You know, like, are who they are. You know, and because of this, then we had Ultimate X-Men, Ultimate Fantastic. Like, this is the you know, Norse mythology. This is the Yggdrasil. This is the world tree of the Ultimate Universe. So Bagley makes everything look great. So
I was happy to see Norman Osborn without the waves.
Yeah,
on that wave thing, are Sandman and Norman actual cousin? Is that continuity? Because they
brought the same hairstyle.
No, they brought it up in Chapter 1. They were like,
really?
that they're cousins.
Oh,
I was reading the letters, and I think they just made that up. They were like,
okay,
we'll fake this relationship because it gives me a reason to call on you.
Got the same hairstyle. I was like, what's
like,
going on here?
Yeah, but listen, with all due respect to John Byrne, like, I'm sorry, if we're comparing Ultimate,
no. And listen, John Byrne's had a lot of amazing series. His work on the X-Men and the Fantastic Four and Alpha Flight is phenomenal. All phenomenal stuff. And stories and art.
Right. And then
you can't knock it out of the park every time, even if you're a legend.
Right, exactly. And then on top of it, like, even today's Superman Day, his Man of Steel.
Oh, yeah.
Beautiful. And then even the work he did on Superman was also just as great. Hell, he even co-created, even co-written the first arc of Hellboy with John Mignola, The Seed of Destruction. He did that. So, yeah, like you said, Rich, like, you have to have...
Yeah, I still have tremendous respect for John Byrne. Just this wasn't one of his great ones.
There you go, which is totally fine. Everyone's allowed to miss stuff. Listen, I love Bendis, and there are things Bendis has done that I'm like, meh, or I did not like. It's Superman. But, you know, whatever.
Well, Rich, I think you brought up a good item is maybe he did take on too much with the Chapter 1.
Yeah.
You know,
he did everything.
Yeah, we don't know what he was also working on at that exact same time. He could have been overloaded.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know, so it's just, like I said, there were things in it I definitely liked. Chapter 1, like, I'm glad I finally read it because now I'm like, you know, context. But I'm sorry, just Ultimate Spider-Man was more fun.
Yeah.
You know?
I've had the experience.
Listen, man.
Join us.
Listen, Jeremy, listen, I'll tell you right now, after this, I'll send you the list, man. I'll hook you up. I did it for Carrie, and look, she's and Jeremy's gone.
He's like, go fuck yourself,
Jeremy to leave in the middle of me talking.
What list is that, Drew?
I will gladly send a reading list for the Ultimate Universe if y'all want to get started, because
totally.
It's so much, but I promise you, like, it's like I told Carrie when she started, not everything in it is good. Okay? And you have to pick and choose your battles.
Drew, with the Ultimate, wouldn't you say it's more of picking out you don't like, just avoid these ones, but read everything else?
Well, yeah. I mean, the thing being is that the reason that I feel Ultimate Spider-Man was always one of the best is that Bendis stayed the whole time, so it's got that consistency.
Okay.
You know, in Ultimate X-Men, Millar was there for like 30 something issues. Bendis jumped in for 2 arcs. Then it was Brian K. Vaughan, and he did pretty good. Not gonna lie. And then it kind of got botched when Robert Kirkman came in, but that's fine. That's my feelings. But then it's the same thing with the Ultimates. The Ultimates, Millar was doing it. Then Ultimates 3 is a disaster. And then, and then the universe got relaunched. And then the titles got relaunched. And then, because you know how it is. They cancel them and then they relaunch them.
Right.
But Ultimate Spider-Man is just fantastic because Bendis has such a great love of the character. And he's very creative. It's really his best work, in my opinion. And Carrie's read enough of that, so she can probably back it.
Absolutely.
Yeah, 133. And 2 annuals.
But thanks, Jeremy.
I just love.
There he is.
Jeremy, the TLDR of what I just said is I'll send you a list after the show.
I actually heard it all. I don't know what happened. Like, I kicked a box underneath my desk and everything was still going, but it said my device is disconnected. Like, I still heard everything you guys were saying.
Well, don't kick those boxes.
I got to clean up.
Big feet.
But yeah, so I'm really glad that you guys I'm sorry. I've said this to people. There were 2 books that brought me back into comics. One was Ultimate Spider-Man, and the other one was Batman Hush. And still love them both.
Nice.
I did a reading of Hush once. That was a fun time.
Oh yeah, and Leo, can I talk about?
Yeah, aren't we like a week and a half away from a night reading?
That on the 28th?
Not this Friday, next Friday.
Yeah,
we're definitely doing it,
Should we be
right?
promoting something that we're putting on not during our regular times?
Yes. So, hold on. Hello, everyone.
We're doing it.
Everybody, if you enjoyed our seasonal reading of Batman Noel last year, we're deciding to do it again. We will be reading 2 issues of Warren Ellis's and Stuart Immonen's Next Wave, the series that literally made Leo say, Drew, what the fuck? Where we have a great group of people. We've tapped some of our friends to come back on. Some of those people had to bow out, so then I had to reschedule and find other people. So no stress there, but it's going to be a stellar time. I definitely recommend having a drink. It's going to be Friday.
Or a brownie.
No, a brownie. It's going to be Friday, February. Friday, April 28th at TBA. What time? Probably like 8 or 9. And
Yeah,
it's
probably 9. Yeah.
Yeah, probably 9. But it's going to be great. I'm anticipating that there's going to be mucho laughter. So
Yes.
bring all the beer, but don't let Machine Man have any.
That's right.
Yeah. So
Aaron stacks an asshole on beer.
listen, I'm thoroughly excited, and it's funny because I was talking to Justin from Tales of News, who was supposed to be part of it. He unfortunately can't make it. It's one of his kids' opening nights for their play.
Damn him.
Damn fleshy ones.
But we were throwing around other ideas for future readings, and we're gonna push the envelope, kids. We're gonna really push them because I've got some good ideas. But
and for those that don't know, this will be a free additional content in addition to our show. Our show is always free every week, but now this will be a free additional content. And if you like that, we may be charging a small thing or ask for a tiny little Patreon for the additional content going forward.
Small little bit, but
Smidge.
I'd buy that for $1.
Hey, so so Leo, do you wanna rate this and call it a day?
Yeah.
What day is it?
It's Tuesday.
Tuesday.
Skinwalker
Ultimate
Ranch is
rating.
back tonight.
Yeah, well, Leo,
So
you
we're rating one versus the other. Is that what we're doing?
Yeah,
Two ratings essentially.
We'll do 2 ratings. So I'll kick it off. Spider-Man Chapter 1. I'm gonna give a 3.
Yeah.
Yeah. Ultimate Spider-Man 4.8. Like, oh my god, so good, so good.
Wow.
Maybe even a smidge more, but yeah,
Okay,
it's
that's fine.
yeah 4.85. There we go.
Oh,
For the 85th anniversary of
Wow.
Superman, I'll give it a 4.85.
okay.
Cartridges of Thwip Thwip.
Yeah.
All right, Rich.
Oh, for me, John Byrne, I'm gonna give him a 2.75. Not for the artwork, mostly for the storyline.
Okay.
And for Ultimates, I'm gonna give it like a 4.5. It's very solid. It's very solid. It's a smooth read, and the art's fantastic. And Mark Bagley hates me, so I appreciate that.
I'll
That
go.
was one of your laughs.
Could be. I might have made him a little crazy at New York Comic Con one year, and he actually said to Mitch, he's like, "Do you know that guy?" And Mitch is like, "Yeah, he's one of my crazies. He's leave him alone."
All right, Jeremy. What about you?
I'm gonna stick with everybody and be like 2.75 on the chapter 1. I thought the art was pretty fantastic. Everything else, I wanted to rinse and wash my eyeballs out.
Well, we want to ask you to do another origin story for at least 5 months.
Oh yeah, please no more Spider-Man origin stories.
How about a Superman one? We could do the secret origin.
Oh, where's he from? And then on the Ultimate Spider-Man, though it's another origin story, and though he made it 7 issues, was it that we read for Ultimate?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like holy crap! Talk about drawing it out. It was good. It was like I could have seen that being done as an animation, like straight from the book, bam, right onto the TV. It was very well. All the voices played well in my head, and the art was fantastic. So 4.9.
Whoa.
Yeah, almost a 5, almost solid.
Gary, what do you think?
Okay, chapter 1, 2.5. I just was not impressed because some of the ways that they did things, I didn't like a lot of the changes that were in place, and it just kind of bummed me out. And Ultimate, though, that is one that I am now reading the entire universe because of that. Because it was, I was really that impressed. I hadn't started off being like a big Spider-Man fan, but now I'm just like, oh wow. So I'm going to give that 5, actually. It's kept me going.
So I'm sure you all know where I'm going to go with this. So I'll just get these out of the way. I'm going to agree with all of you. I'm going to go with Leo. I like Leo's for chapter 1. I say a solid 3. The artwork, you cannot deny John Byrne's artwork. It's one of his best features. Writing wise, I felt like there were more fails than there were things. Like, honestly, I read the 6 issues. I don't really need to read the rest. I'm good. I have an idea. Just how you know the basic Spider-Man stuff.
Yeah, we're just going through the Sinister 6 and all of his old. I'm like,
yeah. I was like, no, Batman Year 1 did it better. And Ultimate Spider-Man, I'm sorry, it's one of Bendis's best work. It's one of Bagley's best works. It founded the Ultimate Universe, which is one of my favorite Marvel multiverses. I still keep coming back to it. There's still something to enjoy. And I love introducing it to people because it is a perfect book to introduce the character to people who do not read Spider-Man. Who even don't read comics, you get it. And it's just fantastic. So I'm going to go with Carrie. I'm giving it one of my rare 5s. And the last time I gave something a 5 was when we reviewed Kingdom Come.
wow.
So,
Kingdom Come is definitely a 5.
Yeah. So that's
a story.
Yeah, I will say this. I think this is one of our highest rated books, Ultimate Spider-Man. This is not one of our lowest rated books. That still will always be Aquaman.
Yeah.
You know, I don't think I've ever seen us more be like, yeah, that fish died. That not even tartar sauce can fix that fucker. But
Yeah, one of the few times we didn't feel bad that a baby was killed.
yeah,
Yeah, right.
exactly. I was like, I'm not even mad that baby died. I was like, I've been dying. I am
I've
that.
been dying for the baby to die.
Yeah.
I'm right with it.
So yeah,
It was saved because of that.
exactly. So yeah, that's my feeling. So Ultimate Spider-Man is the de facto. Please read this if you want to get into Spider-Man comics, kids. And you're like Carrie, now you're a Bendis fan. So hey, everybody wins.
Dun, dun, dun.
Yeah. I just want to add, not only if you want to get into Spider-Man, but if you want to get back into Spider-Man. Like
Mhm.
I enjoyed Spider-Man when I was a kid. I don't like the new stuff now, but
I used to have a pretty sweet Spider-Man collection, and yeah, I have to say I haven't read any Spider-Man from the past, I'd say at least 15 years.
Dan Slott's Spider-Man, I will always say is worth a shot. But
Is
that's
that the Superior Spider-Man, Drew?
yes.
Yeah, that was a good storyline. Probably one of the last storylines that I enjoyed. But once you made Peter rich and
Yeah.
he had a company, and then it just started to get ridiculous.
No, but it all falls apart because that's just inevitable. And Peter is literally the golden.
Oh, actually, yeah, I did read Superior Spider-Man when Doc Ock took over.
Yeah.
That was kind of cool.
Yeah. So the thing with that, and then you got to Jeremy. You also have to read the original Spider-Verse. That's all Slott. Slott had a lot of good ideas. He really cared about the character. He pushed him to new places. I will always advocate that. And for me, it was after Slott's run that I didn't. I'm sorry. With all due respect to Nick Spencer, you read enough of it as for Screen Rant. I was just like,
yeah, and there were years and years of amazing Spider-Man storylines, because I remember at one point when I was collecting Spider-Man and really enjoying him, there was Amazing, Spectacular, and Web of all running at the same time, with that sort of gave like different versions of, like, one was just concentrated on Spider-Man, one was more concentrated on Peter. It was very interesting.
And wasn't McFarlane's Spider-Man run at the same time too?
Yeah, that was just called
Spider-Man.
Yeah.
And then there was Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Don't forget Peter.
It was almost like a Batman book.
And then don't forget Peter Parker Spider-Man 2. That happened.
Oh, so yeah.
There's been a lot of Spider-Man titles. Just like X-Men titles. And eventually they all go the way of the dodo.
Canceled.
So, and
with that, it's been another great show.
Leo.
There's a lot of great people that do a lot of great stuff. Come on, Leo, go ahead.
I want to thank everybody for watching this fine evening. Make sure you follow everybody here. For me, you know me. Google me, you'll find my stuff. But more importantly, I run the Dorkening Podcast Network. Ton of awesome shows on the network. There's a lot of awesome people doing a lot of awesome stuff. Head on over to thedorkening.com, and I do multiple shows during the week with other fine folks and these people here. You can find me, here every Tuesday. On Wednesdays, Still Token With, and midweek geeks. Also Comics Paradox and the Dork Night. And Carrie, where do you like people interacting with you?
You can find me under Carrie Sanders on Facebook, and everything else is linked there. I do a podcast for the PBDC network, and actually we do 5, but my brand is the Owlite, so it's just a bunch of podcasts about storytelling. And yeah, just look me up on Facebook, and you can link to all my stuff from there.
Okay. Jar Jar.
Hey, thanks for watching. I'm Jar Jar Jeremy. You can find me on Facebook at Jeremy Courtney. And check out Comic Book Lovers Buy, Sell, Trade, and Auction House, where you can buy, sell, trade, and auction all your geek stuff with 20,000 other geeks based all over North America.
Mr.
Ooh.
Hey, everybody.
Oh, that's awesome.
You got a Drew Mollo?
Yeah, hi, everybody. So I'm Drew. Thank you for joining us on the podcast time. If you need to find me, I'm on Facebook, where if you do message me, there's a chance I might message you back. But if it's not between 9 to 5, go fuck yourself. I'm also on I'm also on the occasional show that'll somehow ask me and regret it. You can ask Carrie about that. Yeah, I do stuff for Screen Rant. I publish articles. I'm everywhere. I'm nowhere. I'm Drew Mollo. And yeah, this is a custom-made Funko of me because I'm too tired to be in front of the camera anymore.
That's awesome. Velvet, take us out, my friend.
What's up, everyone? It's your man, Velvet J. Another great show in the can. And, check me out. I'm doing the digital creator thing, Velvet Joker 1, both on YouTube and that other place that's talking and ticking. And listen, for those that do or do not watch this show right here that we are doing every week on YouTube, you should definitely go to the Splash Pages YouTube site. Do a flip, throw your hands in the air, and hit that like and subscribe because it helps us. And if you want to help us and enjoy the show that we do for free for your entertainment every week, like and subscribe. Help us, please. Thank you. Good night.
Awesome. With that, we'll catch you guys later. Bye.
Good night.